Roger Tillis is here. He is the founder and CEO of ViewMySport.com. Roger and I met at a Christmas party, I don't know, like 4 years ago. He told me about it. I was right away. I was like, wow, that's really cool, man. You're going to get these kids exposure, a free service, all sports, all athletes, boys and girls, and you're going to get them a shot at earning scholarships. That's incredible. And the best part about it is he wanted to do it just to help the kids out, more so than start a side business. Comes from the heart, helps these young these families out. I tell you what, I tell parents all the time when their kid gets a scholarship, I congratulate them too, because it is for the entire family. I know it was for me. Roger joins us now from ViewMySport.com here live at the Loft on Tom McManus Uncensored. Roger, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing great, Tom. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Absolutely. Great to have you on. I haven't seen you since Christmas, I think. Is that about right?
That's about right.
Scott
That's our
and Julie's
annual
party.
thing.
Yeah, it is. It is a good party, man.
Yeah, it is.
We don't like missing that one, so we're there all the time. All right, ViewMySport.com. Like I said, Raj, when you first told me about it, I was like, wow, that's really awesome. And, being recruited, I know what it's like to, get the letters and
Sure.
and then figure, at first when you get the letters, it's like, oh, my gosh, you're getting all these letters. And then you realize, well, the letters really don't mean a ton just yet. When you get the visits lined up, when they start coming to your school, one of the coolest things for me, I get pulled out of class. There's 7 Division I college coaches sitting in the locker room waiting to talk to me. I was like, wow, this is, granted, it was Indiana, Northwestern. It wasn't some humongous recruit, but it was awesome that those schools wanted to talk to me. And back then, your coaches sent out letters.
Sure.
Probably by Pony Express. It took forever to get there. But you've created something where every athlete, no matter the genre, no matter the sport, boys or girls, you have a chance to showcase your talent on your website that gets looked at by college recruiters all over the country, and it's an absolute free service. Start with the genesis and of course, where you are today.
Sure. Thanks, Tom.
We,
it was funny. It was one of those moments where you're just kind of hanging out at the high school. My son was in high school sports, played football, track, and, you're up in the stands, you're hanging out with all the other parents, and it is constant complaint. It's either about the school, it's about the coaches, it's about, the organization. And, it got me thinking, geez, how can it be this difficult? How can it be this hard to, get your young student athletes, attention?
Right.
So it was one of those things where I started, one little thought, kind of the 4:30 a.m., you pop out of bed, you think, I got it.
Yeah, right.
And so we spent a good part of a year talking to parents, talking to high school coaches, talking to college coaches, administrators, anybody who had anything to do with the high school, environment and the recruiting environment. And I tell you, it was almost too simple. And so I thought, well, I can't be the only one out there. I can't be the only one trying to think of how to do this. The key is that we thought about how to do it with putting the student athlete first.
Yeah.
There's other services out there. You see them in the news all the time, these different recruiting services.
Yep.
But for them, it's all about the money. With us, it was all about the kids. So we kind of worked it backwards. And, we went through a tough time with a test site, trying to find what works, what doesn't work. Theoretically, what works realistically may not. So we went through a good year and a half of just the test phase.
And let me interject. The other ones are fine. They're great. But they have to find you. They have to find you. You got to go to a camp. You got to get noticed. Somehow, some way, they've got to find you. You're totally different.
Right.
You're saying, hey, we'll put you on the platform and get you out there.
Right.
And then those different universities and colleges will decide if you're their kind of person, their kind of athlete.
That's right.
That's the difference to me.
Yeah, and the way we set it up, we have 2 directions to come from. We let the kids come on, and after they make their profile, they're a part of our organization with VMS. Either the college coaches can use our search engine and use the criteria that they're looking for and narrow down these prospects and find what they're looking for, which is fantastic, works real well. But what we push, the second avenue to follow, is for the kids or their parents or coaches, get that profile and be proactive. Send it out to the coaches, like you said before. Don't wait for them to come to you. You get out there. I mean, you're competing. You're competing hard with millions of other athletes for these, select scholarship spots. Mm-hmm. So it is one of those situations where we say, hey, get your profile tight, send it out to your select colleges, different levels, maybe some D1, D2, some NAIA. If your grades are struggling, right. Junior college. I mean, junior college is becoming real big for kids to hit first.
Absolutely.
And again, I mean, the perfect example, football. Just take high school football, for example. You've got over 1 million kids around the United States playing high school football, and you've got about 27,000 scholarship offers.
Right.
Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, your competition's pretty stiff. So if you really want it, if you deserve it, you're going to do everything you can. And I don't mean do it and boost your ego and tell your friends and family and get the pats on the back. Right. I'm talking right up to the date you have a signing of that letter of intent. You're out there busting your tail, pushing yourself out there to make sure you're getting the exposure.
And every athlete gets their page, you can put videos on there. Yep. All your accolades, every special interest, everything you can put right there on your page. It's absolutely free. Another thing I like about it, it allows a sense of realism. If every parent thinks their kid is going, right?
Yes.
This kind of puts, all right, if you really think that, that's great. Let's showcase that athlete.
Sure.
Maybe he or she really is that great in not just in your mind. Okay, well, we put the videos on there, we show the accolades, and then you see what colleges come and agree with you.
Sure.
I mean, it almost, you know what I mean? Because this whole entitlement thing is, my kid's the best. Well, he's going. You see him in 6th grade. He's had 6 touchdowns. Well, that's wonderful, but that doesn't mean anything in the scheme of things. I don't want to say weeds out the ones that really aren't the material, but it just gives you a sense of, okay, here's my chance to showcase my athlete, my young athlete who I believe in, and we're going to put everything on there, put the highlight film together, put it up there, and View My Sport's going to get it out there, and then let the cards fall where they may. And I like that. Yeah. I like that part about it, too.
Yeah,
Am I onto something there?
No, you're exactly right.
Okay.
And that's the critical thing. And we run into parents, on a daily basis. And of course, big fish, little pond. Yeah. Their kid could be outstanding. It's amazing how many parents kind of shirk a little bit when it's time to put that profile together. It's almost like they don't want that dose of reality because it's what if he's not that good?
Right.
Well, great. So you want him to believe that he's fantastic. Right. And get him out there and find out. Maybe he can work a little harder. Maybe he should be working a little harder.
Maybe he should be working a little harder. And another thing, 1AA, Division II, Division III, that's good ball.
It's outstanding.
And not just football, basketball, everything, all sports, gymnastics. Those are great levels of play. Not everyone is Division I material.
Right.
And that's okay. True story, my brother Mike, he's the next one up. Great linebacker in high school. I mean, he was tough, faster than me, really good athlete, loved to hit. He was 195 pounds. The big schools were not coming after him. The little schools were. He said, I don't want to go to a little school. I want to go to a Division I. So he walked on at Northern Illinois. Lasted a season, then was done. Who knows what would happen. We often talk about it. He and I are very close. So, when I was going through my thing, he was, right there with me. I was doing it for both of us. It was that kind of thing.
Sure.
But, he often thought, I could have went Division II, maybe moved to safety. Who knows? Yeah, exactly. So, my point of bringing that story up, we all want the top. We all want the best for our kids. But make sure they get that dose of reality and let them embrace, I'm going to Division II. Damn right I am.
Sure.
I'm going to Augustana up in South Dakota. I'm going here. I'm going to Troy. Whatever. I'm going to wherever I'm going. And embrace that because that's a great thing.
Sure, you're right.
Yep.
And that's one of the big things we promote. I mean, I'm a big advocate of the NAIA, which is small school NCAA.
Sure.
They give full ride scholarships. They weigh a little more heavily on grades, but all that does is create more money and gets rid of any blocks against a full ride scholarship that'll pay for room, board, everything.
Right.
And I tell you, some of these schools, smaller classrooms. Yeah, you're not going to be on ESPN every Saturday. Let's face it. That like you said, not everybody's going to make it to that level at D1.
You get to the championships, you will.
I tell you what. You go out there and some people just might be D1 material, but they just don't want the big school environment.
Right.
So they're looking at. But I tell you what, in all sports, and these facilities at some of these smaller schools are fantastic.
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of parents where they make the mistake is they're so focused, they have tunnel vision, they're so focused on that top level, they don't even think about NAIA or Division II even.
No, right.
It's crazy.
Well, and as far as going to the next level, if you're good enough, they'll find you.
Sure.
Keep that in mind. They find guys all over. Some of the greatest football players of all time in the NFL came from small schools.
Sure.
A lot come from big schools. I'm not saying that, but if you're good enough, you'll get there. And you and I both know, Raj, these kids develop, mature differently. Some are ready to go at 17. Some aren't. I'll tell you what. Do you guys get into the prep schools up north at all?
We're everywhere. We're in all school formats.
Now they can be a lot of. I don't know if they give scholarships or not. It's just a 1-year deal. But man, you go there and goodness, it's like being redshirted twice if you get redshirted when you go again. It's a great way to develop. Junior college. I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, you know how many programs look at JUCOs and bring them in to help solidify their team?
Sure.
Every single year. Now, let's talk about all the sports so people understand.
Sure.
Boys and girls, right?
Boys and girls.
Golf.
You bet. Golf.
Swimming. Volleyball.
Yep.
Softball. Track and field.
Yep.
Cross country.
Yep.
Every sport in high school.
Fencing.
Equestrian.
Wrestling.
Okay.
Rowing. We
everything.
even have baton twirling. I had a parent address the issue that I had left off baton twirling. Matter of fact, I was at a Christmas party. Seem to do a lot of business at Christmas parties. And so I said, I'll take a look into it. I thought she was pulling my chain a little bit. And, damned if I didn't find out that not only are there associations and programs and a call for it at the collegiate level, but they're scholarships.
Right.
So, I don't think beer pong will be popping up anytime soon, but by God, if they offer scholarship, we'll have it at it.
There you go. Talk about, tell me if this is myth or reality, thousands of unused women's scholarships year after year, especially in golf.
I take golf, rowing. Ever since that Title IX came out, it has improved.
Yeah.
Title IX has almost forced the coaches in the college's hands to take that money and say, okay, we know you played volleyball, you didn't get a scholarship. How about coming over to row for us?
Yeah.
Because they've got to use that money and use it or lose it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's great. ViewMySport.com. I highly suggest everybody go out there, get on. It's absolutely free, very easy to sign up, get your own page, how to insert, how to add, how to change, what have you. Roger Tillis and his lovely wife, Rachel, we got to give her a lot of credit. She's been there with you every step of the way. You guys do a great job. And I tell you what, you want your child to have a chance? Don't wait for these other to come to you. First of all, the star system's a bunch of crap anyway. It doesn't mean anything. And it's big money. This is absolutely free to get you and your athlete into the right spot. And it'll all bear itself out. The question is, are you willing to put your cojones on the table? I think you should. And it'll give you a sense of realism. And guess what? Like Roger just said, you come out of these Division II, NAIA, whatever, Division I, it's an experience of a lifetime. Roger, thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Tom.
Great stuff. Yeah.
You bet. Thanks a lot.
We'll do it again because this to me is very fascinating. Giving people a chance to realize a dream. And another thing, real quick, most coaches do it right. There's some coaches that don't. This eliminates those coaches because you don't need that coach.
That's correct.
To get your exposure out to the right people.
Right.
ViewMySport.com. Roger Tillis, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Tom.
Next time, all right?
You bet.
Roger Tillis will join us. Roger is owner of ViewMySport.com. I've been talking to you about it. I tell you what, it's for every athlete out there that needs exposure. Every sport, boy, girl, does not matter. You want your kid to have a chance, or they want to have a chance, to go to school on a scholarship. Don't wait for them to come to you. You get to show them right off the bat. It's an absolutely free service. Roger Tillis is the CEO and founder of ViewMySport.com. Check them out online.